Hello and welcome to the Bot Box. Yep, it's lobster time. The original Thermidor was an orange bot made to look like a lobster, but with wheels instead of legs, obviously. It was armed with a set of lobster claws, a spike, and a cutting disc. The bot, of course, is named for Lobster Thermidor, which the team accidentally spelled with an A instead of an I. They did get told that it was spelt with an I and changed the spelling in subsequent series. It made its debut in Series 3 of Robot Wars, landed in Heat M and drew Scooper Stroke Blade Bot Plunderstorm, aka Plunderbird 3. Plunderstorm wasn't working well, and it soon became clear that Plunderstorm wasn't working at all after Thermidor had gone over to Plunderstorm and bumped into it. So Thermidor shoved Plunderstorm into a wall and left them to the house robots. Next up was Rammer Scutter's Revenge. Scutter's Revenge pushed Thermidor early on, so Thermidor pushed Scutter's Revenge, but once released, Scutter's Revenge pushed and pitted Thermidor. So that was Thermidor out. Thermidor returned for Series 4 without the spike and cutting disc, but with a flipper with an angry face on. Of course it's angry. And the team, now knowing the correct spelling, as I mentioned earlier, called the bot Thermidor 2. They landed in Heat G and drew fellow flipper Chronic the Wedgehog and lifter Gravedigger the 13th seeds. Thermidor 2 became Chronic the Wedgehog's target early on, but before Thermidor got Thermidor 2 got free, not before anything, and tried to flip Chronic but missed Gravedigger 2 before Thermidor 2 rescued Chronic from the pit and teamed up with Gravedigger, but soon afterwards a claw broke when Thermidor 2 hit the wall. And when Chronic the Wedgehog got Gravedigger on its sides, basically perched on the arena wall, Thermidor flipped the 13th seeds on their side and left them for dead. So Killot accidentally righted Gravedigger, but it was far too late for them. Next up was lifter Dreadnought XP1, who'd been having technical issues again. Dreadnought XP1 was seeded 29th. It took 2 flips to turn Dreadnought XP1 over, and the 29th seeds couldn't self-right. So Thermidor 2 left them to the house robots. End of fight. In the heat final, Thermidor 2 faced Chronic the Wedgehog again. The two bots danced around each other early on, Chronic missing with an attempted flip. Thermidor 2 also missed with a flip attempt, and when the two bots' flippers locked, Thermidor 2 poked a hole in Chronic's flipper. Chronic pushed Thermidor 2 close to Shunt, but both escaped, and whilst trying to flip Thermidor 2, Chronic's flipper broke. Just completely broke. That didn't stop Chronic from being aggressive though. Thermidor 2 tried to flip them too, it just didn't work. Then Chronic the Wedgehog went foot. So Thermidor 2 left Chronic to the house robots, sending Thermidor 2 to the series semi-final. But time for a brief break for a Sumo versus Shunt type diversion. Shunt pushed Thermidor off the sumo ring in 5 seconds. Oh, that was a minor disaster. No, Thermidor 2 did not win the sumo basho, nor did it come anywhere close. On to the series semi-finals, where Thermidor 2 faced pyramid-shaped cutting disc wielder Pussycat, the 19th seeds. Thermidor 2 sent Pussycat flying early on, flipping the 19th seeds all over the shop, but eventually Pussycat managed to spend some time on the ground, hit a wheel, claws, the top of Thermidor 2. Oh, and that was it. The list of things that Pussycat hit. Thermidor 2 was on the run and got caught by the time the judges were called in, because time had run out on the fight. They ruled in favour of Pussycat, but Thermidor 2 had actually damaged Pussycat. So, now let us contemplate Robot Wars Extreme. It's not easy to navigate the first series of Robot Wars Extreme. Not in the slightest. So, we're going to be talking about Thermidor 2's fights there instead. And quite a few of them there were. First off was Thermidor 2's Mayhem battle to qualify for the first Annihilator, where it faced Bulldozer Bot, Behemoth, and Thwackbot Stinger. Thermidor turned Behemoth over early on, but was mostly out of focus as Behemoth and Stinger fought each other. That is until Thermidor sent Behemoth to an arena wall and flipped them out of the arena. Someone opened the pit, but soon afterwards, Thermidor 2 flipped Stinger out of the arena as well. One nice, tidy arena. Good job, Thermidor. So now it's time for some tag team terror. Yes, how will the rules get tossed out of the window this time? Well, Thermidor 2 teamed with Rammer Cerberus to face Grabber, Spinner, Smitty, and what was the case of Rammer, Grabber, Cerberus, and they faced Grabber, Spinner, Smitty, and Blade Wielder something, because something had its blades. Smitty and Cerberus went out first, and a pushing war quickly ensued, one that ended when Smitty hit Cerberus with the disc and bashed something. But this was not a tag, so another pushing war started, and ended when Smitty drove straight across the arena and into an angle grinder. So out came something because kaput teammate. Also out came Thermidor 2, even though they weren't tagged. Okay, now we know. There goes the rules again. Anyway, Thermidor 2 flipped something so it landed on two spikes it had, and because something's wheels ended up in the air as a result, something couldn't move. Both bots got counted out, and Thermidor 2 flipped Smitty for good measure. So before we get more tag team terror, it's time for the Annihilator, where Thermidor 2 faced Pussycat, Horizontal Spinner Hypno Disc, Axebot Stroke Lifter Arnold A Terminator, hereafter referred to as AAT if it does get mentioned, Grabber, Axebot Splinter, and Axebot Exterminator. Thermidor 2 was out of focus early on until it elected to go after Exterminator, which Hypnodisc was also going after. So Thermidor flicked Hypnodisc so it landed on Exterminator and noped out of there as a multi-bot pileup developed, but it wasn't long before Thermidor 2 went for Pussycat. Splinter wasn't the only bot looking for vengeance in that battle. At least that's what it looked like to me. Then Splinter sent Thermidor 2 to a corner. Thermidor 2 got axed by Shunt, and it kind of stopped, it died, and got counted out. Now, time for some more tag team terror, this time against Axebot, the Steel Avenger, and Crusher Suicidal Tendencies. Cerberus and Suicidal Tendencies went out first, trying to get a pushing war underway, but were having no luck. They were just too slippery for each other. Cerberus then tagged Thermidor 2, which was already most of the way out. Suicidal tendencies shoved Thermidor 2 into a corner, and suddenly it became a free-for-all. Just a normal tag team terror fight then. Thermidor 2 randomly fired its flipper, and the next move it made was to drive over to the flame pit? The flame pit. Cerberus attacked, the Steel Avenger attacked, both attacked Thermidor 2. Thermidor 2 got counted out and spent time with the house robots, flew away a floor flipper, got shoved by suicidal tendencies before time ran out and the judges were called in. Or one bot down. They were not going to rule in favour of Thermidor 2 and Cerberus. They ruled in favour of the Steel Avenger and suicidal tendencies. Next up was the Flipper Frenzy, where Thermidor 2 faced fellow flippers Chaos 2, Bigger Brother, and Really Big Cheese. Which means we can have cheese puns, so beware. Everyone went for the corners with the house robots in because of a pre-match pact to go for the house robots instead of each other. Bigger Brother... Thermidor 2 tried to flip Sergeant Bash before Bigger Brother managed to flip Sergeant Bash. Thermidor 2 tried to go after Matilda and Chaos 2 opened the pit. Really Big Cheese, meanwhile, was all but cheese on toast after tangling with Matilda. Indeed, Thermidor 2, Bigger Brother, and Chaos 2 tried to remove Sergeant Bash from the arena itself. Chaos 2, after a tangle with Matilda and a flick from Thermidor 2, ended up on its side, and whilst Thermidor 2 was fighting Matilda, Bigger Brother died. So, by virtue of basically being the last bot standing, Thermidor 2 won. So, now it's time for Thermidor 2's vengeance battle against... Do I have to? What do you mean, yes? Okay. Mandible Wielder Napalm. The reason? A dumb, sexist remark that was staged. I'm going to make this quick. It's stupid, it's awkward, it's staged, I can see why Vengeance Battles didn't return for Extreme 2. After 2 flips, Napalm were upside down. A third flip landed Napalm on the flame pit. A few nudges later, Napalm was counted out. Then Thermidor 2 flipped Napalm out of the arena. Now, back to regular Robot Wars, with regular fights. Thermidor 2 returned for Series 5 of Robot Wars as the 16th seed, landing in Heat E and drawing Flipper Prize Fighter Mach 2. Thermidor 2 rolled Prize Fighter Mach 2 early on, but the second flip wasn't so successful. Prize Fighter Mach 2 then flipped the 16th seeds, but Thermidor 2 self-righted. 2 flips later, however, Thermidor 2 was struggling to self-right, but did eventually get right side up. But Prize Fighter Mach 2 flipped Thermidor 2 again, leaving the 16th seeds running around upside down until they righted themselves. And then they stopped moving after that, so they got counted out and pitted. So that was them out of Series 5, but Thermidor 2 did return for Series 6, unseeded this time, and landed in Heat F, where it drew dragon-themed grabber Chompalot, Dual Spinner 13 Black, and the 11th seed Stinger, who you might remember from being sent flying by Thermidor 2 in this episode. Thermidor 2 went for Chompalot early on before having a go at Stinger, until 13 Black snatched Stinger away. Stinger opened the pit and Thermidor 2 spun around, ended up out of focus, went foot, and they got counted out. It sprung back to life to annoy Dead Metal and well, pitted itself. Safest place to be, Thermidor 2, and it got company in the form of Chompalot. Turned out what had happened was a stinger had hit Thermidor 2 so hard that its internals weren't quite right, so that's why it was no longer functioning properly. So next up for Thermidor 2 was Extreme 2, where Thermidor 2 was in the Annihilator. See if it can go better this time. There it faced Horizontal Crusher Can Opener, Flipper Spinner, Revenge of Trouble and Strife, hence here known as Rotas, Full Body Spinner Typhoon 2, Vertical Cutting Disc Bot Major Tom, and Flipper Raging Reality. Thermidor 2 got flipped by Raging Reality as soon as the fight began, but it self-righted and ended up out of focus, well, until it went after Can Opener. Then Raging Reality flipped Typhoon 2. Thermidor 2 went after Rotas and got flipped by Raging Reality, but self-righted as Typhoon 2 got counted out. Typhoon 2 getting flipped. That's not a sight you see often. Turned out Major Tom had also been annoyed by Thermidor 2 because Thermidor 2, it seems, had gone after them. Round 2. Thermidor 2 went after Major Tom early on, rolling them over, but it wasn't long before Rotas went for Major Tom and Raging Reality went for Thermidor 2. Then Can Opener went for Raging Reality. Thermidor 2 then chose to annoy Sakil a lot before going after Rotas, but drove into Dead Metal's embrace. Not a good idea. Rotas allowed Thermidor 2 to escape by lifting Dead Metal, so it went after Can Opener, who was going after Raging Reality. Major Tom opened the pit. Raging Reality, now toast, got counted out. 2 seconds later, Can Opener pitted Rotas. Round 3. Thermidor's target was Rotas, but Major Tom got in the way. But Thermidor 2 didn't let up until it flipped Rotas and left it to Can Opener. Can Opener opened the pit, in went Rotas, with the help of both Can Opener and Thermidor 2, and Major Tom went into the pit too, and Major Tom was perfectly sized to fit on that pit. Round 4. Can Opener and Thermidor 2 went for Major Tom. Thermidor 2 flipping Major Tom. Major Tom was righted, but still pursued by everyone. Thermidor 2 bumped into Can Opener, who opened the pit, and the house robots went for a now very dead Major Tom, who got counted out. Everyone else went out of focus as the house robots went to town on Major Tom, and a cooker ended up landing on the cutting disc wielding bot. So, you know what that means? Thermidor 2 in the final of an Annihilator. Thermidor 2 tried to flip Can Opener early on, but it was staying out of Can Opener's claws. A chase thus started, ending when Thermidor 2 opened the pit and ended up in Can Opener's embrace. It escaped, only to get grabbed again, then eventually released. Thermidor 2 tried to flip Can Opener and sent it to a corner. On its release, Thermidor 2 tried to flip Can Opener again, but ended up again in Can Opener's embrace. But Thermidor 2 escaped and pushed Can Opener. Can Opener then sent Thermidor 2 to Sergeant Bash. The wheels and weapon were a mess, but Thermidor 2 was still alive. It looked like the judges were going to be needed. The timer had come up on the screen, but with just 4 seconds left, Can Opener pitted Thermidor 2. Though, as even the team would say, Thermidor 2, or even the team did say, Thermidor 2 was not likely going to win that fight if it had gone to the judges. Thermidor 2 returned to Series 7, this time seeded 14th, landing in Heat J and drawing Rammer Cutting Disc Bot Mighty Mouse, Undercutter Mobot, and Flipper Axe Bot 8645T2. hereafter known as Beast 2. Because that's easier to say. Mighty Mouse bumped into Thermidor too early on before the 14th seeds went for Beast 2 and flipped them. After going after Mighty Mouse, Thermidor flipped Beast 2 again before eventually going after Mobot, pushing it to the arena's edge and flipping it out of the ring. Then Thermidor 2 flipped Mighty Mouse, but it was already through, as was Thermidor 2, who righted Beast 2, even though Beast 2 had been counted out. Beast 2 drove into the pit, so Thermidor 2 shoved Mighty Mouse there too. At least that's what it looked like to me. Next up was the Kraken, the Crusher. Thermidor 2 flipped the Kraken early on and sent it to a corner, flipping it again. Somehow the Kraken got back on its wheels. After that, somehow it got on its wheels, I don't know how. A pushing war ensued, and the Kraken, now with a bent weapon, which only got more bent as the fight went on, got flipped again, and again, and again. Thermidor 2 was trying to get the Kraken out of the arena. You know, you can just leave them, Thermidor 2. They did open the pit as well and tried to flip the Kraken into the pit, but missed. The Kraken landed on its wheels. But after one last flip, Thermidor 2 did finally push the Kraken into the pit. So, all ye pirates, lobsters are more of a threat than Krakens. At least, if the robot fight is anything to go by. Next up in the heat final was Mighty Mouse. Thermidor 2 tried to flip Mighty Mouse early on and did eventually get a flip in, but Mighty Mouse just kept running away. A second flip followed, and a third, but a game of chase followed until Mighty Mouse got caught by Sakillalot. So more flips followed until Mighty Mouse ran away, and another game of chase started until Mighty Mouse got sent to Sakillalot. Mighty Mouse wasn't the same afterwards. It could only go forwards and backwards, no steering. Thermidor 2 opened the pit, but as time ran out and the judges were called in, Thermidor 2 didn't pit it and in fact sent Mighty Mouse the other way. But either way, the judges, either way, they didn't get Mighty Mouse into the pit in time, and the judges were called in. They ruled in favour of Thermidor 2. Next up, in the series semi-final no less, was Typhoon 2. Thermidor 2 chased Typhoon 2, trying to stop Typhoon 2 before it got up to speed. 2 hits took out Thermidor 2. Then Shunt and Sakillalot attacked. The ref bot counted the 14th seeds out, and Thermidor 2 got cooked, flipped, and had a washing machine land on it. So, 12 years later, Series 8 finally happened, and Thermidor 2 was there for it. They landed in Heaty, the 5th episode, where it drew Chomplot, Drum Spinner Pulsar, and Bar Spinner Ironside 3, made by the same people who made Mighty Mouse, but far more aggressive than Mighty Mouse. Thermidor 2 went for Chomplot early on, but got away before Shunt could get them. They just ended, basically, the action had taken them to that particular corner. Once Chomplot got free, Thermidor 2 tried to go after Chomplot, but Chomplot sent Thermidor straight to Shunt. Thermidor 2 got axed, died on release, and leaked on the smoke. Thermidor 2 took a hit from Chomplot and Ironside 3, and in the dying seconds moved a little bit, but it was long KO'd, and thus was a non-factor in the resulting judge's decision. However, that's not fully the end. Not quite, because for those of you who haven't seen Chompalot's episode, after its first fight, Chompalot caught fire in its first group stage battle. Its lipos went up. It's a case of right at the end, doing the post-match interviews, and suddenly Chompalot's lipos were on fire. So there was a chance that Thermidor could have got back into the competition. But it was between Thermidor 2 and Pulsar. Pulsar actually made it to the judge's decision. Thermidor 2 did not. So when picking who to replace Chompalot, the judges went for Pulsar. After that, Thermidor 2 tried to get into Series 9, didn't get in, wasn't in Series 10. Thus ends the tale for the Lobster Bot. Thermidor 2 is a robot that you cannot predict. It's basically, if it turned up in the prediction league, in the series I was in the prediction league for, I would not have known what to do with Thermidor 2 based on its history. It could do well, it could make the semis, or it could just go out in round 1. When on form, Thermidor could be trouble. It's not a robot you take lightly. Case in point, Pussycat underestimated them and regretted it, even though they won. But if things went wrong for Thermidor, things went wrong for Thermidor. Still, by being a Lobster Bot, it was distinctive. It went for house robots. It was the first robot to send 2 robots out of the arena in a single fight. And I doubt any lobsters were harmed in the making of this particular Thermidor. So now, who's next? Taiki, it is the season of goodwill. Could you please be kind? Gotta give the box a good old shake. The Mule. Until next week, Calcium244 out.